So one of the things that I want to talk about just real quick is neighborhood watch programs. You know, one of the things that many of you, like me, probably grew up and you knew who your neighbors were. And now we've got into a society a lot of times where we don't know who our neighbors are. And one of the things that is a real deterrent to crime, and especially burglaries, is neighborhood watch. In fact, there's been a lot of studies that have shown that if you have a neighborhood watch sign in your neighborhood, burglars will stay out of that. That you need to really work at getting to know your neighbors and talking to one another. And if you're computer savvy, there's even an app out there, if you have a smartphone, in which all the neighbors can be hooked together, and you can send messages to your neighbors about, hey, we saw this car in the neighborhood, we don't think it belongs, those types of things, and that goes out to everybody. And I can tell you that a majority of people who are out committing burglaries, the majority of people that are out stealing or breaking into your cars and that type of stuff, or stealing your car thefts are up like 69% in this county, a lot of that is driven by drugs. There was a study done that shows that about 60% of all the people that are in the penitentiary that are there because of a property crime, of stealing or burglary, they're there because they had a drug problem. How do you protect yourself at home? A lot of burglaries that occur, especially out in the county, when do people break into your homes? During the daytime, usually when you're not there. And one of the things that a lot of daytime burglars will do is they come to the front door and they knock on the door. If they don't get an answer, the majority of the time, a lot of the times, they're going to go around back and kick in the back door. So one of the things that I will tell you is a really good deterrent on burglars is when somebody knocks on the door, they hear that big old dog barking. So if you've got a dog, that's one help right there, that if you hear a dog, a lot of times they don't want to mess with that. But one of the things I tell you is that they're going to knock on that door. A lot of times they'll kick in the front door too in the county, but they'll go around to the back. So you want to make sure that you secure things. The other thing that I would tell you is make sure that you're not leaving things out that attract people to come into your yard and steal stuff. So make sure that you are securing your stuff and locking things up. And in auto theft cases, we found that more than half of the cars that were being stolen, guess what was inside the car? The keys. And people wonder, well, I wonder how they stole my car. Well, they opened the door, got in, turned it on, and left with it. So that's how they stole it. One other thing that I see a lot here in town is that I'll see people drive up to the local convenience store. They're just going to pop out for a moment, go in, get a cup of coffee. What do they do with their car? They leave it running. So that's an easy mark for somebody to come out and steal your car. So real quickly, I want to get off that in just a minute, and I want to talk about scams, because that's one of the things that I was asked to come and talk about. And one of those things that I want to tell you about is make sure that when you get these phone calls from people wanting to sell you things on the phone, there are probably businesses that do call you, but one of the things that you really want to do is trust that agent that you may be working for, that works for you. And if you've got a deal from somebody, another company, take it to the person that you've dealt with all these many years and sit down and go over that deal with them. So if somebody drives up, they want to fix your roof, they want to pave your driveway, be very careful about that. And one of the things that they'll tell you is they'll drive up and tell you, we were doing a job down the road and we've got some leftover material. We'll make you a really good deal. Well, most of you, a lot of you run businesses yourself, you know you don't run a business and have leftover material. Check that license plate of that truck that comes up. One other scam that goes on, and you may have heard about this, is the IRS calls you and tells you that you owe taxes, and that if you don't pay immediately, you're going to go to prison. That's a scam phone call, right? The IRS is not going to call you and tell you need to write them a check and send you money. Now, they may send you a letter, they may do that, but they're not going to go out and do a phone call and tell you to send them money. So just hang up the phone when you hear that. Is somebody calling and saying your grandchild has been involved in an accident and that you need to send them money, or that they're in jail and you need to wire some money? A lot of times they'll call, they'll sound official, they'll sound like the sheriff's department or the police department. Well, guess what? The sheriff's department or police department is not going to call you to tell you that the grandchild is in jail and you need to wire money. Here's the other thing that they're pretty sharp to doing. A lot of times they'll have somebody call that sounds young and say, Grandma, I'm in jail and I'm in Hershey, Pennsylvania, and I need you to send me money. And I've talked to a lot of people that have fallen for this. And they'll go, I didn't know why Martha would have been in Hershey, Pennsylvania. Well, guess what? She's probably not. So if you get that phone call, you can always tell them, why don't you leave me a telephone number and then pick up the phone and then try to call the grandchild or try to call their parent. By the way, this happens all the time. Here's another scam that's really easy to fall for. You'll get a phone call from somebody who says, we're from Microsoft and you have a problem with your computer and we need to remote in on your computer. Now, I will tell you, they sound really like they know what they're talking about. And if you're like me, you've always got a problem with your computer, right? So it's easy to fall for, so you let somebody remote into your computer. What happens when they remote in from that computer? They steal everything off of that computer and download everything. So a lot of times your banking information, all of those types of things are somebody can get a hold of. So be very careful about letting anybody, I wouldn't let anybody remote in on your computer. If you need to get your computer worked on, you need to take it to a computer repair shop and that type of stuff. Hey, one other tip I want to give you. When you're on vacation, how many of you have a Facebook account? Here's what I see on Facebook all the time. We're having a great time in Destin, Florida. What are you sending out to a lot of people? You're not home. So save all those pictures and talking about your vacation for when you get home, okay? Thank you very much. Again, my name's David Millsap. I'm running for sheriff. Hi, how are you?
I'm well.
I'm David Millsap.
Yeah, Kent Richter.
Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you. So I'm running for sheriff in Millsap, and I'm running for sheriff.
Gibson.
Well, thank you.
Congratulations on your win.
Well, thank you. Thank you.
And I'm Carol Gibson.
Yes.
I'm Jeannie. Hello.
Hey.
Nice to meet you.